Hey, good morning, my friends. We are here at 9 o'clock right on the dot, so I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to tune in. This was a super spontaneous Facebook Live this morning, but it was something that has kind of been lurking in the back of my mind for the past couple of weeks. Oh, I've got some puppies saying hi. Miss Maya's going to join us this morning. She's my little office companion, usually. Um, but this is just something that's been, like I said, in the back of my mind, and I was having a little bit of fear of how it was going to be received when I shared this, but this is something that I firmly believe in, and I think that there are ways that we can combat that stress of wedding planning. If you guys could drop a message in the comments, just let me know that you're here. I would love to say hi, and let me know if you have any questions on wedding planning too. Go ahead and drop those in there. This kind of came to me of this is the day to share this because, as many of you know, I am actually in the middle of wedding planning right now as well. Andy and I are getting married in September of 2020, so we are just over like 10 months to go. And it truly has been so easy and so fun for wedding planning. And before anybody says, well, Kate, you're in the industry, of course, you've got this advantage that not everybody else has. I will admit that I have a lot of insight on what goes on in the wedding industry, who to work with in the area, because I've worked with a lot of them. But that doesn't mean that if you're not in the wedding industry, you can't have a great wedding experience too. That's fun, that's stress-free, that's easy. We've got another pup in here. Hi, Miss Bella. This is my little sweet rescue baby. It's just a full furry household. We've got Callie on the chair over there too. They must just tell that there's some good energy going on in here today. Yeah, they just light up our lives for sure, these little fur balls. So this morning I am taking a half day actually to go down into Wapaka and go bridesmaids dress shopping with one of my bridesmaids in my wedding, who is also the second shooter for, well, she works mostly with me for Clem Studios. So some of you might know her, Steph. And it just kind of got me thinking about how our wedding planning has been going so far, and just how truly, like I said, it's been fun, it's been easy, and everything has just fallen into place. And I realized that that's not the experience that everybody has. But I truly do think that everybody can have that experience. So a couple tips that I have. First off, when you get engaged, really embrace that period and those first couple months. It's so joyous and exciting to be able to use the word fiance and start thinking about what your dream wedding looks like. And then a lot of times people kind of get to that point, and that's often when they start getting overwhelmed. You realize how many choices and decisions there are to make, and that just can seem like a lot, especially for many people who it's their first time around getting married. And that often invites a lot of opinions in from people who have been married. And I am guilty of this as well. Anytime somebody gets engaged, I say, let me share all the knowledge that I have with you. And that doesn't always serve each couple. But the biggest and best thing that's going to keep you on track and make your wedding planning less stressful is truly having a vision of what you want your wedding day to look like, what you want your wedding journey to look like. Do you want it to be a really big affair with, 400 guests and a party all night and florals everywhere and, stunning, elegant touches? Or do you want it to be something intimate? Do you want to go to your favorite mountaintop out west and share your handwritten vows with just you, your significant other, maybe nobody else around? Think about what you want that experience to look like and really trust your gut. That's the first step, is trusting your gut. Listen to what is most important to the two of you and what really matters to the two of you. Many times couples have outside factors. Maybe mom and dad are paying for the wedding or contributing a large chunk to the wedding. So then a couple may feel pressured to embrace what mom and dad want rather than what the couple themselves want. And that is truly a disservice to the couple. And it's a disservice if mom and dad are pressuring that on them. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm just going to say it, because a wedding day is truly a celebration of the two people that have found each other, they love one another, and they are making this commitment to spend the rest of their lives together. That's it. And that should be the main focus for everyone, for parents, for friends, for family, for vendors, celebrating those two people in the way that they want to be celebrated. That is the way that you can show the most respect, the most love, and the most celebration for these two people. So really trust your gut. Know inside of you what is important to you on your wedding day. If you want to do, roasted chicken family style because that reminds you of Sunday dinners with your family and you love being around one another, great. Do family style roasted chicken, even if Cousin Susie is telling you, no, you need to do a plated catering event from this 5-star chef. Don't do it if it doesn't feel good, guys. If you want, for us, we love grilling out and we love being in the kitchen together. That's what a lot of our relationship is, very food-based. So for our wedding, we're doing a buffet, but we're doing it with a caterer that we know is going to knock it out of the park. We're having grilled beef tenderloin, grilled chicken thighs that are barbecued. We've got some grits going on, a little touch to Andy's 9 months of his life that he spent in North Carolina and then was transplanted to Wisconsin. But that's just how we're choosing to do that. And we made that be a priority. It's more in our wedding budget, but that's what felt good to us, along with a destination engagement session and along with where we're getting married. It helps that we personally are funding a lot of our wedding, so we don't necessarily have that outside pressure. But even if somebody else is funding your wedding, the best way that they can love you and celebrate you is to truly hear what you want from your wedding experience. And that can sometimes be an uncomfortable conversation. Most of the time, people have our best interests at heart. And sometimes it just takes a conversation of, maybe mom wants, I'm going to go back to the florals, like floral centerpieces that are 3 feet tall and they're just all white roses. And your personal style is maybe something a little bit smaller on the table that's got calla lilies and dahlias and ranunculus and whatever other beautiful touches in it. And you can just say with so much love in your heart, Mom, thank you so much. It sounds really beautiful. And we are so grateful for your investment in us and your investment in this wedding. This is the vision that I have. This is what really matters to me. And here's why. So this is the route that I'm going to go with this. You can approach it with so much love. You can take that stress out of either being worried about what somebody else thinks about your wedding planning, or the even greater stress of knowing that I really wanted this and I'm not getting it. That's where I hear so much heartbreak and disappointment in the wedding planning process, is when a couple has a vision, they know in their heart what they want from their wedding journey, what's important to them, whether it's, the custom cocktail that they want, or maybe it's a certain vendor that they work with, a photographer, a DJ, or whatever it may be. Maybe it's a decor item, maybe it's a location item. They know inside of them, yes, this is going to resonate with us. This is what we are about, what our relationship is about, how it's going to best celebrate us. And then when they don't follow through on that, that's when it really is heartbreaking. And they can feel that through their whole wedding journey and beyond that. The number of times that I hear somebody saying, I wish I would have done this on my wedding day, or I wanted to do this, but so-and-so told me that I had to do this instead, or this was my vision for it, but we weren't paying for our wedding, so we felt like we didn't have a choice. You always have a choice and a voice, even if you're not the one funding the wedding. Because again, these people love you, they support you, and they truly want what's best for you. Sometimes it just takes a couple of conversations of letting any involved parties know, this is what we want from our wedding. This is what's really important to us. This is what's going to light us up and celebrate us the most and our relationship. And we truly appreciate you supporting us in this vision, this idea. Word it however you want, but just really bring it back to what's important to the two of you. So this is the trusting your gut portion and sharing that vision and idea with those around you. Next, I would say trust your partner, because they're in this with you. They also want to have a really, really great wedding experience. I think a lot of times there's a focus on either the bride or the primary partner, whether that's somebody who's a little bit more outgoing. That focus can kind of be on them, but it truly is about two people who have come together. It's just mind-blowing to me how these love stories happen, and you find somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with out of like 7 billion other people. That alone deserves to be celebrated, that you found this person. And second, like in my case, that they want to put up with you for the rest of their life. Thank you, Andrew James Lindsay, for loving and appreciating me, and just letting me be how I am, because it doesn't always work out that way. So that alone gets to be celebrated. So trusting your partner in that they want to be on this wedding journey with you, and recognizing that they also have a vision for what's important to them for their wedding day. So I think along with trusting your partner, having open communication, truly hearing what matters to them, and asking why or what about that is important. Sometimes when we ask, like, why did you do that? Why does that matter? That can sometimes have like an accusatory tone to it. So a great way to reframe that would be say, what about that is important to you? Or what makes this meaningful to you? That sometimes opens conversation more than why. So just a little pro tip with that. So for example, in our wedding planning, the things that were most important to Andy, and beyond that, he said, tell me the time and where to go. He really wanted a party bus. And so even though we're having our ceremony and reception at the same location, so oftentimes you don't need any transportation in that case, we're going to do a party bus, and I'm super excited for it. I think that's going to be a great time. So that was one thing. He wanted a party bus. He was very adamant that he wanted round tables rather than long communal tables. Stylistically, I love the long communal table idea, especially with the venue that we're having it at, it would just lend perfectly. However, I asked Andy what was important to him about that, and he said that at a round table, he feels that people can have more conversations than just with the person across from them, or next to them. And so he was really thinking about the guest experience and how they'd be interacting, which I was like so proud of. Wow, you really pay attention to what your wedding industry fiance might talk about when she comes home after a wedding, when I don't always know that you're listening to me. So that was another thing. He absolutely wanted late night pizza, because the man is a garbage disposal and hungry at all times of the day. So I'm totally enrolled with that, because pizza is fantastic. He also wanted small desserts, like little mini cupcake things. So we're getting an assortment of all the mini things. Neither of us really have a preference for cake. So the point of this is, I had a conversation with Andy of what's important to you, and I continually check in, even knowing that he's in a space of just tell me where to go, tell me what I'm wearing, tell me when to show up. I'm still checking in with him along the process, because this is a wedding about the two of us. It's not just the Kate show, as much as I might think that some days. It's really about the two of us and celebrating that. So I always check in. Is this important to you? What are your thoughts on this? Do you have a preference on this? And if he says, no, not really, I kind of just check in before I either like invest in something or put down the final product or kibosh or whatever on something, and just get an okay from him. Not necessarily asking permission, just this is what I see. Is this cool with you? Great. Again, the wedding is about the two of you. So having these conversations that allow for compromise, keep you guys on the same page, that will make your wedding planning so stress-free. If I can't even remember if we've argued about it. Oh, rehearsal dinner is something that we're still working on, of what we want that vision to be. It's something we keep revisiting. It's not stressful. We're not worried about it, because I'm trusting Andy. I'm trusting that he's holding this vision of what our wedding day is. And there's been a lot of compromise on our end. If Andy had his way, we would be getting married at the courthouse, and it would be very, very simple and intimate. And I know this because he doesn't enjoy having a ton of attention on him. Like, there's no way he would do like a Facebook Live. He doesn't enjoy giving speeches. That's just who he is. He doesn't always feel like worthy of the attention or celebration. So trusting that Andy is going to really hold the vision of what's important for him on our wedding journey, and also trusting that he's going to support some of my ideas too. So just having that open dialogue back and forth, because again, this is your wedding day. We want it to be meaningful, special, and truly one of the best days of your lives. So again, the first one was trusting your gut, knowing what your vision is, and just enrolling everybody around you in that vision, even if you're not the one funding the wedding. Second is trusting your partner and trusting that they truly love you. They want this day to be a success and wonderful, and trusting that you guys can compromise and talk through anything in a loving, calm manner. And then third, honestly, is trust your vendors and choose vendors that are going to light you up, that really align with that vision of what you want to execute. Hold on, tea break. Okay. When you think about your wedding day and when you're creating this vision, even write it down. I mean, as silly as that may seem, when you were thinking about those during those first few weeks of being engaged, oh my gosh, I get to plan a wedding. What's important to me? Start writing it down, journal it out, make notes in the back of an envelope, whatever feels good to you of what your priorities are. So for us personally, having a cool location, something kind of photo backdrop-ish, that's frankly the industry that I'm in. Oh, sorry guys. And having our dogs in the ceremony, having good food, having great pictures, which check, my associates are shooting my wedding. We talked about what our priorities are. So from there, we looked at what vendors were going to knock that out of the park. We looked at what our budget was, what we knew that we could invest, what we had set aside, the goals that I was going to hit from working, what other parties were going to contribute, and we looked at how we could make that happen and with whom. So I, again, have the great fortune of working in this industry. So I've seen a lot of not only the product that the vendors put out, whether it's sometimes product is a service that they provide, sometimes product is an actual product. I've not only seen like the result and what's being delivered, but I also get to see the back end. I get to see the communication. I get to see how people treat their clients during the process, because I hear a lot of that from my couples. I ask them, how do you like working with so-and-so? What's your experience been like? How has your wedding planning been? So I do have the advantage of knowing this ahead of time. And I intentionally, just for my clients, I reach out and set up a preferred vendor list of people that I know are really going to just treat them well and do a great job on whatever product or service they're delivering. Those are my two must-haves when it comes to a vendor, is be great to your client, be great at what you do. It doesn't matter price point, whatever that vendor is charging, as long as they treat you well and they're good at what they do and they're going to deliver on what they say, that's it, folks. That's all you should be looking for. So look for somebody that is truly aligned and going to bring your vision home. And I'm not just saying this because, well, kind of I am saying this because I'm a photographer and I want you to have the best experience possible. Your wedding planning gets to be easy. It gets to be stress-free. And part of that comes from choosing vendors that you can truly trust. When you're in a space where you don't necessarily trust your vendors and you feel like, maybe there's some micromanaging going on or constant checking in, or you're not getting feedback from them, they're not answering the questions that you have, that can lead to a ton of unrest, uneasiness, distrust, and that does not make for a relaxed, happy, calm wedding experience. So really research the vendors before you choose to work with them. Have a conversation with them. I know we're in the digital age. I realize that many people want questions answered via email or text or whatever it may be. Even just having a video face-to-face conversation, there's so much that you can learn about a person just by being able to hear their tones of voice, their inflection, seeing their facial expressions and how they react to something. And as long as you resonate with them, that's the most important thing, that they really get what you're about, they get what your vision is for whatever it is that they are providing for you, and that they can knock that out of the park for you. That's the biggest thing, honestly. So again, trust your gut, really know what your vision is for your wedding day, for your wedding journey, and enroll those around you in that vision because they truly love you. They want to celebrate you, and you deserve to be celebrated. You have found somebody that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. This is the celebration of that, moment in your life, and it gets to be fun. It gets to be wonderful. It gets to be easy. So trust your gut, have that vision. Trust your partner. Trust that they have both of your best interests at heart and that they're going to communicate with you. And if you're not getting a ton of communication, lead the way. Just start those conversations. And finally, trust your vendors. Work with people that you know are going to bring that vision to life, that you don't have to check in, once a week. Make sure that they still exist, that they're still alive, that they're not just running away with your money. Because when you have that trust and you know that they're taking care of what they are experts at, that's less on your plate that you have to do. So that makes it less stressful for you. Again, I know that this isn't always the popular opinion, that your wedding planning is only as stressful as you make it to be, but I truly believe that. If we're taking the time to hear other opinions or not trust our gut on something, like if you're debating between linen colors and, do I want the burgundy? Do I want the gold? Just listen to what your gut is telling you. Trust it and move forward. It can truly be as easy or as stressful as you want it to be. I know this might have some people's brains turning and going, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, send me a message. I would love to go back and forth with you and see how you can make your wedding planning process as stress-free as possible, especially when it comes to photography. I am here for you. I know that you can have the best wedding day of your life and of your dreams, and I can't wait to see how you bring that to life. All right, I am going to head out here soon and go do some bridesmaids dress shopping. I will talk to you guys soon.